I mean, Pat, you're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. Let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures. And look at her track record. How many times has she had to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said on the...
So for me, it's just better to not have anything to do with any of that. In her own words, no one is above the law, so something will come of it or it won't, but it's very sad. I don't wish that kind of shit on anybody. I mean, that's got to be hard. They have kids, like, it's awful.
And once you get lawyers involved, it's just the lawyer.
The morning the scandal broke started like any other. I had coffee in hand, scrolling through the news, when something caught my attention, Sunny Hostin's name. But this wasn't about her usual fiery takes on *The View star. This time, it was about her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin. Dr. Hostin, a well-known orthopedic surgeon, and his practice, Hostin Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, was suddenly at the center of a major storm. The accusations: insurance fraud, kickbacks, and, get this, being involved in a massive RICO lawsuit with a shocking 180 defendants. That's not a court case, that's a blockbuster lineup.
With mostly everything that's been said, I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
Let's break this down. The RICO Act, originally designed to target organized crime like mobsters and gangsters, is now being used against doctors, surgeons, and medical practices. Think less Goodfellas and more Grey's Anatomy but with a dose of fraud. The lawsuit accuses Dr. Hostin and his colleagues of running a scheme to cheat the healthcare system. Allegedly, they accepted kickbacks for performing unnecessary surgeries and billed insurance companies for procedures that may never have happened. Imagine this: patients undergoing surgery, insurance companies footing the bill, and behind the scenes, cash exchanging hands like a high-stakes poker game in the operating room.
Waited my whole life for this one. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for The View host, Sunny Hostin, has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She run these women. Tell me why her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud. And I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury? Roll it, Nick.
Doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance. What? And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud. I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence for him.
Here's where it gets interesting. The lawsuit claims Dr. Hostin took financial incentives to recommend or perform arthroscopic surgeries, those minimally invasive procedures using a camera to examine joints. On the surface, these surgeries seem perfectly legitimate. But according to the allegations, some of them weren't medically necessary at all. So, were these patients really in need of knee or shoulder surgeries, or was this just about chasing a paycheck? If true, it's a betrayal that would put any soap opera love triangle to shame. Patients trusted their doctor, only to later discover they might have been used as pawns in a financial scheme. It's the kind of betrayal that cuts deep, literally and figuratively.
Always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York, you guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia case. Like the mafia one was number one. This one takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange of...
On the other side, we have the plaintiff in this case, American Transit Insurance Company, ATIC. They're claiming they were defrauded out of millions, alleging they were billed for surgeries that either didn't happen or weren't necessary. Think of it like paying for a steak and getting tofu instead. But let's be honest, insurance companies don't have spotless records either. They've been accused of underpaying doctors, denying claims, and using every trick in the book to avoid payouts. So, the real question is Is ATIC genuinely trying to uncover a massive healthcare scam, or is this just a desperate move by a struggling company trying to
New lawsuit obtained by Page Six. The orthopedic surgeon was one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeer influence and corrupt organization cases ever filed in New York. Emmanuel was accused of federal insurance fraud and, quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies and Uber and Lyft.
Dr. Hostin's lawyer, Daniel Thwaites, didn't pull any punches. He called the lawsuit a meritless attempt by ATIC to recover its losses, slamming it as a desperate move from a company on the brink of financial collapse. Thwaites shifted the focus, painting ATIC as the real villain in this story. Classic courtroom strategy: when you're under fire, fire back. And trust me, it's keeping this drama red hot. But that's not all. Media critics also took shots, this time at The View star. They accused the show of blatant hypocrisy, adding yet another layer to this unfolding saga.
Hostin's husband, Dr. Manny, is now in the press,
Terrible.
being named in a lawsuit, in a RICO suit, basically for taking kickbacks for some medical procedures. I think in the form of like Uber rides and all these things. Do you think this has any legs to it? They're a high-profile couple. Could he be being targeted for that reason?
People sent me that article, and I'm like so far from being a lawyer. I don't really understand what he did, even like other than it's insurance fraud. You know, if he has done something illegal, I believe in the law. You know, he should pay the consequences. It's terrible. I mean, it's horrible. I don't keep in touch with her. She's been kind of shady to me and social media and on Watch What Happens Live of all things. And I was really surprised because I thought we had a good relationship. She went on Watch What Happens Live and like was unkind. And so for me, it's just better to not have anything to do with any of that.
Critics were quick to point out the irony. Sunny Hostin, known for calling out others for similar crimes, now finds her husband accused of those very same actions. While Dr. Hostin fights to clear his name in court, Sunny has stayed unusually quiet. Normally unafraid to dive into controversial topics, her silence has fans buzzing. Is she standing by her husband, waiting for legal advice, or simply trying to protect her public image? Whatever the reason, her silence speaks volumes. But here's the twist. Dr. Hostin is just one of 180 defendants in this lawsuit. The case also names other doctors, medical practices, and even hospitals. If the allegations are true, this could go down as one of the largest medical fraud scandals in recent history, a web of corruption exploiting loopholes in the healthcare system to rake in millions, all at the expense of patients and insurance companies. This case feels like a heist movie, except the target is insurance premiums. It raises a big question: how much can we trust our healthcare system when profit seems to come before patient care? Patients should feel safe, not worried they're part of a financial scam. At the same time, if ATIC is using this lawsuit to hide its own financial problems, it's only making things worse. Untangling this mess won't be easy. Dr. Hostin hasn't been found guilty, these are just allegations for now. But the courtroom drama is heating up, with both sides ready to fight. Guilty or not, this case has already exposed serious issues in the healthcare and insurance industries. The scandal is far from over, and we'll be here watching every twist as it unfolds. Stay tuned.